So today, if people didn't know how to study the presented documents as evidences, or even the court evidences that are presented in court, so people will continue doing this kind of act of forging some documents for their financial purposes. So today, I have the example of 12 characteristics of handwriting. The left side is the original or the standard documents, and then the right side is the forged document. So let's start with the first one, the line quality. Line quality, the skill of writing flowing letters and words defined as the overall character of writing strokes from the initial to terminal. So if you can see, this is the original one, and this is the forged document. This forged document, there's a shaky of handwritten. So if there's shaky or something that are suspicious, just like this shaky handwritten, then this is considered as the forged document. Next is the spacing of words and letters. The average amount of space placed between the words of the formation of the letters. So just take a look of this given example, wherein there is the spacing between those letters are enough to say that or conclude that there's something that are suspicious in it. So just like the original one, the spacing is something normal. Then this forged one, there's a big gap or the spacing between the letters. So number 3, or the next one, is the ratio of relative height, width, and size of the letters. The consistencies in the formation of letters as to the height, width, or size. So the consistencies of height or width of the letters. So just take a look at this given example, the letter E and the letter E. So there's a big gap or differences that on their sizes. So meaning this document is, or handwritten is, forged document. Before, the pen left in separation, the manner in which one stops writing from new letters or words. So just check the letters where it stops and begins the words. So the forgeries may have been left in separation on its annual place. So just this given example. Next is the connecting strokes. Connecting strokes, the lower cases letters, connecting strokes within the letters and words, and etc. So just to compare on how the capital letters and are connected to lower letters, and how strokes connected between the letters and between words. So just like what I've said, if there are suspicious for your they are suspicious for you when it comes to handwriting, of course we have some basis, so that is considered as the forged document. Next is the beginning and ending strokes. So when one begins a letter formation or numbers, or where the strokes ends as a location. So just try to differentiate how the writers begins a word, and then how the writers ends the word. It's like here. So as you can see, there are some differences of how the writers starts the word and the writers ends the word. 7. Next is the unusual letter formation. The formation of unusual letters are as backwards, ends, or capital letters, and etc. So just look for unusual letter formation. For instance, the letters written backward letters here with a tilde for unusual capital letters. So there's a difference between the two of its letter formation, or the letters that are written backwards. Then number 8 is the shading, also known as pin pressure, or how much pressure an X with is placed on upward and downward strokes. So this is the original one and this is the forged one. So as you can see, there's a the shading of each letter. Yeah. So if you noticed on the presented documents that there's shading of letters, or shading of letters or sentences, then that would be considered as the forged document. Next is the slant. The reader writing slants to the right, left, straight, up, or down, or the combination of this or the degree of slant that exists. So if you take a look of this slant, just consider these angles or the letters are consistent, or the angles or the slant of every words are consistent, just like here the forged one. As you can see, the slant, the letter M slant, and then the letter E, A, and the C and the I were in the original one, or the standard document. The slant are consistent. So in the forged document, there's inconsistent of slant. And the baseline habits. Whether the writer writes along a straight line, writes with a downward slope, upward slope, or bend in the middle, etc. So just take a look of this given example. Then does the writing writes in line? So this is the original one, this is the forged one. There's not, or the forged one is not in line, while the original is in line. So there's a spacious, or there's this written are suspicious that ends up saying or conclude that it is considered as the forged document. The next one is the flourished embellishment. So the fancy writing, you see, fancy writing is considered as or complicated. So just take a look at this. There are fancy letters, the letter J, fancy letters, or something that are complicated to see. Why he wrote this kind of letter J? So if there's a complicated letters that are being compared, then of course the letters that have complicated writing are considered as the forged one. The last one is the placement of diacritics. So the crossing of this, and dotting of i's and other punctuation mark. Just take a look on how the two writers crossing this, this T. By that, you can be able to know what documents are standard, what documents are are forged documents by this kind of handwriting. So that's all, ma'am.